Support Pro Play Games on Patreon.
What's up, guys? We are live here with Pro Play Games with another deck profile. Last color that we took the gauntlet with, and it was yellow Fabled Beast. We got second place though, which is still not too shabby. We lost to the mirror match, funny enough, but that successfully completes us being able to take every single color and prove how viable it is by placing either first or, in this case, second. This was the only deck we placed second with, so I guess arguably the weakest deck. But yeah, it is yellow Fabled Beast, and I had a fun time building this. Honestly, it was kind of hard because yellow, I think, is probably the hardest deck to build if you don't like really have like a really designated focus to the deck. And I had to go back and forth, luster dudes, no luster dudes, what amount of luster dudes, how much magic. Like, it's just so much you could do with yellow, and I want to try out a second version to all these decks, but obviously, like, you had to mishmash, you had to like pretty much focus in onto one strat on each one of these colors, and in this situation, we focused in on the Fabled Beast portion as opposed to the luster package. So, without further ado, let's get into it. So, we played triple Sword Angel. Sword Angel can potentially be a free cost spirit. It is a 2-coster with 2 reduction. It's very weak though. It's a 1k at level 1, 3k at level 2, you know, and a 4k at 4k at level 3. So yeah, it's you know, it's whatever. The card is just there because it is a 2-cost and it could come down for free. It is not a Fabled Beast though, which is quite unfortunate, but that is the challenge of building yellow sometimes. Then of course we have the most powerful 2-cost card that exists, Friezatol. Unfortunately not a Fabled Beast. Looks definitely like a Fabled Beast, unfortunately not a Fabled Beast. So it was kind of there to cycle himself and our other 2-drops so that they can continue to find us more cards, you know, either offensively or defensively. They also count as like additional cost reduction for our Fabled God Beast when they die and they go to the graveyard. So yeah, they're just there to kind of like cycle and things like that. We weren't exactly super 2-drop focused, even though these are all our 2-drops right now. There's a lower part of our curve. We played 4 Flying Turtle. Not the best card, but we don't have a lot of options, honestly. This guy's a Fabled Beast and a 2-drop, so it's pretty much mandatory to play, but it does not feel good hitting Ice Shields and hitting Exhaust Nexuses and hitting, what else did I hit off this guy? Alice. There's just great cards that we play, and it's just, it hits them, and it hits them to the discard pile. It's no fun, honestly, but it is what it is. Unfortunately, you do have to resolve the effect. It's a 2-drop than a Fabled Beast. We had no better option here, unfortunately, guys. So yeah, Flying Turtle is cool sometimes when it hits, only when it hits, which it. Pentan, another 2-drop. We're not necessarily playing all the magic in the world. It's just a good solid 2-drop that can go to 4k off 3 cores, which is actually really relevant because, like I said, does get out of that Burning Force range. 4k is a pretty nice color. It still get power level. It still gets hit by Flamefish and a Feral Slash, but you know, it is what it is. Pentan's still a great card. And then we played 2 Rapier, Knight Cat Sith, and this guy would definitely cycle out into practically anything else. I just really did want to try it. It is a Fabled Beast, which is primarily the reason. Maybe even a Fabled Carbuncle, like the 3-drop, is probably better in this place, but same situation with this is like the Flying Turtle. This can like mill you very vital cards. The thing is with this that I think we had more targets for this than we did for the Flying Turtle. Or maybe they're the same. Oh, no, this is cost 2s. Yeah, I think so. But whatever. I just wanted to try this guy out, and it hits 2 cards. So I was just like, you know, I could get a +2 off this. Where like Flying Turtle's like, maybe a better chance of hitting 2. You know, even if it's a 50-50 with Flying Turtle, it's just like you get nothing. It feels bad. So I was just like, let's try it. It wasn't great, but it is a Fabled Beast though, which is important because we were very Fabled Beast heavy because we are playing the Fabled Beast field spell. So Hippocampo is our next Fabled Beast. Yeah, this guy's great. The only thing that can make this guy better is if he was a 2-drop, so that we can also get cost reduction on our God Beast Behemoth while it's in the yard. But you know, the Blessed mechanic is just so good. that, you know, like there's no way, like if you're playing, even if you're not playing yellow, Hippocampo is something that you potentially want to play because it's just so good. Bless is such a good keyword. Air Vital is the next Fabled Beast that we play. This one's also a 3-drop, unfortunately not a 2-drop. But on destruction, or when destroyed, your opponent's turn, it has to be level 1 though, minimum. So if they core reduction you, it won't get the effect. As long as you're at level 1, you'll be able to replay a cost 2 from your trash. So really good at getting back Freezetal, pretty much. That is like your biggest thing. You can also get Sword Angel back with 0. If you have the cost reduction, it's essentially free. Just gotta move the core from Air Vital, which I assume obviously you have minimum 1 core. You're just moving that 1 core from Air Vital to the Sword Angel, so that's really good because it doesn't require you to have any extra cores in reserve in order to like play something like a Freezetal or something like that. Next, a card that honestly I think changes the game with the new tournament packs that should be available at your local game store for playing in the local tournaments. This is Dual Eagle. It's a Fabled Beast, and it could come down for as low as 2 cost with the 1 to maintain it, making it 3 total. It has the Bless mechanic, which is amazing at level 2 and 3. So that means it gets to level 2 with only 2 cores as well too. So super good commitment. The Dual Eagle in combination with the Hippocampo is just like a match made in heaven. The level 3 on Dual Eagle says your cards with Bless can't be blocked by your opponent's level 1 spirits. So it kind of like pushes them to be level 2, pushes them to be level 3. That means they're not able to go as wide as they'd like to, because now they have to like have that protection to like not you know, be able to block against a Dual Eagle and a potential like double Dual Eagle or Dual Eagle plus Hippocampo. Like that could be a big swing. You can go from, you know, your 2 life to your opponent's 5 life to putting them down to 3 and you going up to 4. Like that's a huge swing. Every time that you connect with a Blessed, it's like a 2 life backswing. So like if they hit you twice, that's like 4. You know, like you're just really turning the tide of battle with Blessed, and honestly, you know, you won't really know the impact of it until you actually play against it or play with it. But yeah, Dual Eagle, amazing. I would definitely suggest playing at your local tournament store to get as many copies of those as possible, because that is definitely an include in modern day Fabled Beast deck. And I am actually kind of scared at how far this deck went without that card this weekend in Palm Springs, and you know, Dual Eagle just really pushes this deck over the top. Next, we played 4 Wonderland Alice. This is a card that also I was quite surprised that wasn't really making its way into the main decks of any decks, really. And honestly, it's just such a good card, honestly. It does need to be level 2 to get any effects, which is fine because it's only a 2-core investment, but extremely powerful card. Also at level 3, very annoying. So essentially, when this spirit attacks, -1k to your opponent's spirit, any one of their spirits. 1k for every dude that you have on board. So if I have 5 dudes total on board and I attack with Alice, I go -5 on one thing. So in this game, once you go to 0, dead immediately. No ability to react, no ability to do anything, it's just dead. So this card's extremely powerful. I kind of like filling the void because we don't play a lot of Magic. So this is kind of like our Magic on a stick, if you want to call it, because it does have a body. And at level 3, if we control 3 or more spirits, when this spirit would be destroyed, I can place a core from the void onto this, so it gives it additional power, or the ability to, like, if they do 1 core removal, still stay at level 3 or something. But it needs to be level 3 for this effect, so you gotta have 3 cores. If it were to die, gets that 4th core, and I think it stays exhausted. Yeah, it's exhausted. So unfortunately, it doesn't refresh itself, but still very powerful to kind of keep itself alive. So if they do in the yellow mirror match, for example, if they double exhaust nexuses you or whatever, you know, find a way to kill this, you know, with any combination of magic or exhaust nexuses, you can definitely do that to keep her alive. Very powerful card, honestly, and it can come down for 6 -3, so 3 plus the 1 to keep it alive. And then the next turn you add another core, you attack, or you could attack from it with it off rip. I think it's just a very powerful card, honestly. It was one of my MVPs for sure. Godbeat Behemoth. We only played 2 copies of this card because we kind of like opted for Wonderland Alice as like our boss monster, but this is still a hell of a card, honestly. It won us a game off of its attack trigger when attacking your level 2. Your spirits can't, or your cost 2 spirits can't be blocked by your opponent's level 2 or higher. So it did win us a game. Very powerful card. It does require a lot of cost reduction to make it like efficient, so it could become just like a Gunner Rex. It become a 2-costed spirit that comes down. It also scales really well. It goes from like 1 core 6,000, 2 core 8,000, 3 core 11,000. So that's like, its stats are kind of ginormous. And it's a Fabled beast, so you can play him, draw a card off your field spell. Speaking of field spells, we did play 7 total. So we played triple Blessed Cathedral. I like 4 of the other field spell that I'm going to show you in just a moment instead of Blessed Cathedral, because Blessed Cathedral kind of just stays there and kind of like stalls the game. Kind of, it puts you kind of like in a stalemate where your opponent doesn't want to do anything, you don't want to do anything, kind of. And your opponent can kind of just play around it by like all the removal being outside of the combat phase. Like Blessed Cathedral is only good in the combat phase. That's the only problem. So you can have a few never really go into combat until like it's time to go, like it's go time, and at that point it might be too late. So I do like Blessed Cathedral. I don't think I would cut it, but I think it's definitely your secondary nexus. Whereas most people, when they read it, they're like, wow, this is my primary nexus. At least in this type of deck. Then we play 4 Phantasmal Paradise. And now this is the MVP of the deck. This is what gets a whole deck rolling. It essentially makes every Fabled Beast that you play into a cantrip. So it continues to draw you cards, and continue to like cycle them into more. And the card advantage is how you win with yellow most of the time. And then, you know, trading resources and being able to get your things to be floaters, essentially. Very powerful. Also gives all your Fabled Beasts 1,000, which came pretty relevant ones. So yeah, that guy, very, very powerful nexus. Then for our Magic, we didn't play too much. We played 4 Absolute Ice Shield. Nothing to say about Absolute Ice Shield. It's so good. And then our final Magic that we played, 4 Exhaust Nexus. I know we're not very, you know, Magic filled reliant, which is why we were not playing Caladrius, any type of Luster Spirits, because like that's not our game plan. Our game plan is really just like dudes, draw off of them off the field spell, hit you with some really big dudes that get really cheap really fast as we scale in power, and then just like, you know, Exhaust Nexus. If we get into a stalemate, I can like Exhaust Nexus you for like really cheap off the cost reduction. With Pen 10 I can make it free, and then just kind of just like boom, just Alpha Strike, you're dead. So very powerful deck. Definitely advise checking it out if you haven't already. Yellow has 2 variants, 2 pivots that it can take. It can take the Fabled Beast creature type rate, or it can take the Luster Magic spell, you know, way. So we're gonna try to, like I said, delve into the different variations of these decks and maybe fuse them with colors and things like that. So but yeah, that's pretty much the deck, guys. And like I said, if you did like the video, you know, comment down below, subscribe, and consider checking out our Patreon right up here. And you can check out a lot more Battle Spirits, Digimon, Dragon Ball, and One Piece content. Thank you guys again for watching. Until next time.